Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here. Your OBC's bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex video, and today we're going to be looking at you guys' predictions for Chapter 29. If you're seeing this on the 18th, it's because I have not gotten the review yet from the review editor, so I thank you in advance for your patience and for your support. We don't care about being the first ones up with the review. It's very important to me, since 2 Blue Vortex is that time skip we've all been waiting for, that the chapter reviews don't feel like they did with Boruto Naruto Next Generations, where I did all the editing and I showed a few panels here or there and it was just random stuff. Really want to make sure that these are an experience. So I thank you for that patience and support. So like usual, we're going to start over on Patreon, looking at the predictions over there, and then we're going to go over to YouTube and we're going to run through a bunch of you guys' predictions on YouTube. So starting things off, we have Oh Snaps, a longtime patron, who says, "What's up, Naruto Explain fam? It's that time of the month. You're damn right it is. Early Merry Christmas, everyone," which you guys be getting some awesome Christmas presents this year, because we're going to be double uploading OG subs from that Kryptonian SAIYAN / Anime Explain channel. You remember that era where I used to upload double uploads for Naruto stuff all the damn time, on top of just doing other videos or other anime and manga on that channel. I'm gonna clear out some of the videos that I had planned for this year and could not get because of delays and other things that happened. So expect a flood of content towards the end of this year. It's probably like 7 extra videos, but still. So my man O'Snap says, "Since Boruto used karma, I feel..." Did you put this? You put this on late, didn't you? Damn, I should record this sooner. "I feel like typical moments like this will have another flash at Momoshiki in their conversation. Good prognosticator. That did happen. Curious to know what else they discussed." And that was crazy that we got that. You know, Momoshiki's like, "Fam, I know what you plotted with Kawaki." So he also says, "I think with Kawaki being shown doing more checkups, he's ready for battle, so he's just going in at this point. Mitsuki is probably still being interrogated." Good job. 2 for 2, 3 for 3. "And we might see Sarda battle some clones of Mamushi." So they're definitely holding her. I'm guessing the chapter is going to end with one clone appearing in front of Daemon, and he gives a look at disgust as a setup for the next chapter. I'm glad it did not do that. Save that confrontation. Still putting hopes Shikadai sees Boruto saving people at Konoha, which makes him question everything, but we'll see how it plays out. That's definitely coming. If you notice, like in the chapter, Boruto is purposely kept away from Shikadai. That is coming. That is coming. I like what's going on here. Very intentional storytelling. Speaking of storytelling, Aokiji, the Forsaken Storyteller, also an author, big time, shouts out to you, fam. So he says, "Yo, what's good? I think for the chapter, it'll be a full-blown battle royale throughout Konoha, with Hima showing some results via training with Kurama." You got that right. See, the author picked up the pen and started writing down flames. "And Sarda, and maybe Mitsuki being with Ada if he's not still being interrogated." So he was being interrogated, but the main focus will be on Boruto and Kawaki, with the former resonating with karma and Kawaki sensing him use it via resonance and entering the battle. That's interesting that we did not see Kawaki react to Boruto using karma, because the last that Kawaki knows, Boruto can't use karma, because if he does, Momoshiki takes over. Interesting. That is worthy of a fucking video. I didn't even consider that. I like this. Good job, Jay Briz. Okay. So I'm going to have to put down some law for you guys, right? You know, because like in the Patreon Discord server, we have like debates and fights and all this stuff, right? He is a traitor. Jay Briz is a traitor. This man got the audacity to say that Nico Robin is the best girl in One Piece, when we all know that it's not Nico Robin, it is Nami. This is like fucking blasphemy right here. Him and Bright talking about some VV's best girl. They out they rabbit ass minds. So let's see here. All right, it's been a minute since my last prediction, but here it goes. Man, you know how much I hate to say it, but I think it's time Jogan might be here. Yeah, he's an anti-Jogan person. Might be a chapter or two. Well, since Mamushi can have several bodies, I think we'll see Kawaki in action too. I can see him using Ada's, but that is cold-blooded. Dog, how did I just read this shit? Oh, because I was waiting until the day before the chapter. Oops. So I can see him using Ada as bait to lure Mamushi. If he does that, I will personally fly my ass to Japan, and I'm smacking the first person I see cosplayed as Kawaki. I just hope that would sound so messed up. I would get canceled. See, and then y'all wonder why I don't be streaming and shit, because I was about to say something that somebody could clip. I'm like, that's racist. Naruto explained is racist, and I'm like totally not racist. But we just in that era now where if you make any type of jokes, people get super fucking sensitive. See, this is why I don't stream. My partner managed me on me to fucking stream and everything. I can't do it. So he says, I think Booger Boy is finally about to take action. Daemon, Jesus Christ. Mamushi finished show Ada. Ain't no party like a Mamushi party. Yo, who came up with that on the artwork? Was that Scorch over on Twitter? That was so hilarious. P.S. Hopefully a Hidari cameo. See, we ain't seeing bootleg Sasuke, fam. It ain't happening. Let's see. We got some familiar names down here. FBK, peace and love, brother. In no particular order, I think we will see chaos erupting on multiple battlefronts throughout Konoha. Kawaki will snitch on Shikamaru and the team to the feudal lords. That is crazy. If Kawaki did that, there'd be no saving him. But he gets interrupted by a Mamushi clone that Mitsuki snuffs out. Interesting. So you thought that Mitsuki was going to be loyal to Kawaki. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Because, like, they've been setting that up. Mitsuki having to choose between Boruto and Kawaki. I see where you're going with this. I was going to make jokes, but now I see where you're going with this. See, I like this. Let's see. Kawaki leaves heading for Ada. Yep, got to protect that future baby mama. Boruto's baby mama. Yo, Sard and Sumire fans like, I'm going to find this dude. I got a particular set of skills. I'm going to kill him. Let's see. We see the strike team taking out dozens of Mamushi, but they can't get ahead. That's kind of accurate. One of the Mushis reaches Koji and Inojin through the Toad, who is showing battles live, similar to how he can reach Ada when she... Interesting. So you're thinking that's one of Mamushi's abilities. Interesting. I'm noticing meme. Might put the noticing meme in this video. Might not do it. Haven't made my mind up yet. We get to see Himawari take out a few Henny Lords. Okay. I got you. I had to think for a second. Let's see. Kawaki pops his karma, causing Boruto to resonate further with this karma. Yeah, it looks like we didn't go that route. Very curious to see with Kawaki, though, how he reacts to seeing Boruto use karma. Chapter ends with Daemon telling Mamushi he'll come 1,000 times over before he lets him get to his sister. I really hope that Mamushi just walks up to Daemon, smacks the animal crackers out of his hand, drinks the juice in his juice box, then just whoops his ass with some building blocks and snatches the Velcro, all the, you know, like the Velcro shoes you give little kids. I hope that he snatches them off of Daemon's feet and throws them on the light pole, man. Like, I need that. I need Daemon humble. I am not a Daemon hater, but I want Daemon to be humble. Let's see. Benito de Cooch says, let's see what you got, my guy. This is a good one. This is a long one. Let's see. I know he cooking because he said, let me cook. You know, anytime somebody got to be asking for permission, like, let me cook for a second. One or two things are about to happen. Either this is about to be the most intricate, well thought out post where you're going to be like, my God, I did not think of this. Amazing prognosticator. You're going to be sitting there going, wait a second. I just read all this and made no sense. I can say that as somebody when I say, let me cook for a second. Some of my friends in real life be like, oh God, somebody shut him up. He's about to say the dumbest stuff ever. I've already cussed too much for YouTube. But I said to say, which camp are you going to fall into, fam? We got to see. To be continued. So, oh my, it's that time of the month again. Greetings, Naruto Explained. Got to get my serious voice on. I hope all is going well on your side. Can't complain myself. I give God the glory. See, I can't even say it, man. Like this, I'm about to put my troll voice on, right? This man and bust out the, I give God the glory for his unwavering blessings. At that point, if I don't read this in like the normal Naruto explain voice and I don't do this seriously, I'm gonna have lightning strike my ass, because you can't, like, I don't play with the God stuff. Like, I'll joke Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Jehovah, Shiva, Zeus, and etc. anytime I want to be thirsty. Like, I seen that Sydney Sweeney thing where she was in a white top and like the breast was exposed. It was for that handmaidens thing, and I was like, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, Jehovah, my God. I just need one conversation. I need one conversation. I get to the bottom of all that shit. Is she racist? Is she not racist? But I'll riz up. I need one conversation. That's all I need. Somebody make that happen. All right, let's see. Let me cook, fam. I'm gonna get struck by lightning now. Like, I broke like 9 commandments here. I can't even say 9 commandments. I definitely broke one on like lusting for thy neighbor. Ain't no way in hell she's not married. But like, yo, is that even a commandment? Yo, somebody's like, yo, this motherfucker's on edge. Let me stop. I'm getting off track, man. All right, let me cook. I firmly believe we're due for a flashback regarding the deal of Boruto Momoshiki that they struck. Yes, great prognosticator. See, cooking. And it's clauses. Kind of, sort of. We kind of did. Like, Momoshiki did say, I'm going to kill Kawaki. I know for sure that with this deal, Boruto will be able to channel and handle Karma version 2 with the horn without Momoshiki taking over. We didn't get that, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see the horn at some point. Because like that pose that he did on the cover, that was intentional. I think Ikimoto's teasing it. We'll get to see how tremendously strong Karma Boruto. That boy is cracked. He will be challenged and pushed to the corner by Mamushi, since Bug is knowledgeable about Karma and was the one to reveal Daemon's weakness. Someone will be jealous of Boruto and feel left behind despite the new upgrade. Fraud Waki. Ooh. I had to pause for a second. This man said Fraud Waki. Have the Kawaki stocks fallen that low? While assisting in this battle, Mitsuki will join the fights following Shikamaru's order, and so will Sarda. Team 10 will be involved as well, and Shikadai will want to speak to Inojin, which might not be possible at that moment due to the ongoing battle. Himawari might display some new skills she acquired during her training at Kurama. Kashin Koji might reveal new vital informations. The chapter ends with a cliffhanger where one of the Mushi clones pinpoints Ada's location and Daemon versus Mamushi begins. I think that might be chapter 3. I don't think that this battle ends quickly. I think that might be chapter 3 of this volume. I think that's where that's going. That's interesting. I like that. Let's see. Here are my questions. Don't you think Jura might interfere in the battle if Himawari gets injured? Nah. If it's in Konoha, nah. If it's outside of Konoha, everybody cook. Knowing them clones, yeah, but like, he's interested in Himawari, but like, Naruto's higher up the priority list. Like, it's kind of like if your house is on fire, you might got some expensive drapes, but you're more worried about the house. Like, that's kind of how I'm viewing that. Another question regarding Jura. Do you think Jura taking the new sword is going to be unaffected by it? I think that if he takes that sword again, he's going to get some chakra drained. I definitely think that's happening. Sumire dropped that line for a reason. She dropped that line for a reason. I definitely think that. The reason why I said so is because he'll be able to make the chakra of Uzuhiko. Also, will Boruto's Jogan Awakening prevent Momoshiki from taking a willing in the future? That's to be continued. We'll have to see on that. Finally, don't you think Sumire made a terrible mistake registering Sasuke's chakra to the upgraded blade? Because if Hidari gets that sword, it's game over for Boruto. I'm actually planning a video for that, probably when I'm out of town for Christmas. I'm planning a video for that. I think that that's coming. I definitely think that's coming. Thanks the best in the Anime Explained game. Oh, you did the winking emoji. I got the Anime Explained channel. I see what you did there, fam. All right. Let's see. Sovereign Ninja says, considering what we got in the last chapter, this can go in a variety of ways. Of course, we're going to see a bit of Boruto versus Mamushi, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be a long fight. I don't think so either. And it wasn't in this chapter either, now I'm thinking about it. Longer than I thought. You know, it was like 10 pages, if I'm not mistaken. Just enough to distract him until a team is able to get there. But Boruto handled himself. We will get to see Mitsuki getting interrogated and Sai observing him like a lion looking at a gazelle. So yeah, we did see Sai briefly looking at things. Sai and Ino might have a conversation with the reveal of secret communications going on. I think that's being saved. Koji and the background character Inojin will do some reconnaissance while Jura wonders if he should make a move since he has that shared vision with Mamushi and will notice that he is back in the village. I don't think that Jura gets involved in this. And I think it goes back to what we're told. As long as everything stays in Konoha, Jura's going to be on the sidelines. Like, if Jura's in the village, that man is eating some dango and reading books. He's like, I'm busy at this point. I think this chapter will be halfway focused on fighting and swapping between Shikamaru trying to coordinate everyone and the interrogation. Now, that's going to be interesting next chapter if he gets interrogated and Kobu realizes that he's coordinating something. That'd be interesting. Sage Kaioken, another longtime patron, says, oh, young lord is fine. That's why I keep trying to talk with an accent. Finally dusting off the cursed battle boots. Almost said battle bots. That's what I get for watching Twisted Metal too. I'm getting a lot of foot and mouth moments right now. See, aren't you guys glad I don't stream? I predict we see an astonishing amount of power by not only Boruto and his temporary access to Momoshiki's willingness, but with Kawaki and his new opening of strength and power. So we did see Kawaki get an upgrade. I predict we'll get a quick flashback to good prognosticator. We did see more of that conversation. Maybe he gives us a little smirk or a side-eye thought bubble, and we got Boruto giving him the side-eye. Kawaki will be able to see that even with his new boost, he's still no match for Boruto. I don't know. Right now, I would kind of put Kawaki ahead of Boruto. Just based on what we've seen, I would put Kawaki a little ahead. He senses Momoshiki's dominant presence and says, I need more. And we get a panel of Amato looking worried or frustrated. I think that's coming, though. I think that we're definitely not done with Kawaki being an addict. With Kawaki and Boruto making easy work of the bug tree clones, something changes the tide of war. Maybe it's Jura going after Himawari or enraged by Mamushi for losing his S-word and destroying the sacred library. That might do it. If Mamushi destroys a bookstore, Jura might personally show up to smoke this guy. Hopefully, even with the amps, Mamushi proves to be challenging for the Leaf and planning and sacrificing indeed. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with what we saw. The fact that Boruto and Kawaki had to use Karma against Mamushi, it shows that he's nothing to play with. Maybe we see Daemon put down the juice box and jump off the porch. That ain't happening until somebody's directly in front of Ada. Predictions. Love you, bro. I mean, appreciate you, fam. Matthew Diaz. My guy. All I'm gonna say, because I know you part of the Team Cody faction, I hope Drew gives this man a claymore right through the desk and he takes that title. Long overdue. My WWE fans will know exactly what I'm talking about here. Let's see. Matthew Diaz says, we see Karma Boruto versus Mamushi, obviously. Boruto hates having to use Karma, and we see Momoshiki attempting to play nice and not just take over Boruto's body here and there. So we did see that. We did see that Momoshiki is playing nice, but he's got an ulterior motive. Mitsuki is about to get away from the interrogation when the commotion becomes distracting enough as Shikamaru planned. So that did kind of sort of happen. Mitsuki got out of interrogation, but because of Konohamaru, and looks like Shikamaru is going to use the whole situation with Mamushi as leverage. The Mamushi party starts spreading out, and we see Team 10 and Himawari confront one. Good prognosticator, we saw that. Kawaki takes on some of the others. Chapter ends with Mamushi arriving at the apartment where Ada is. So we didn't see that part, but I will say, I I like that Ikimoto drew more clones. Because here's the thing. With the Ikimoto stuff, if you go back and read Boruto Part 1, you can tell this man was like mentally scarred from having to draw the shadow clones in Naruto. And Ikimoto hand draws. Like Kishimoto would use digital tools, Ikimoto does it old school G pens. And so I said to say, he's talked about in the past about not like having to do the shadow clones, and Kishimoto's talked about playing a prank on Ikimoto where he said like with one of his assistants, it would have been Ikimoto since Ikimoto did backgrounds and shadow clones. But anyway, getting back onto it, what Kishi did is he basically, they were coming up on a deadline and he told his assistants when they fell asleep, oh my God, we didn't meet the deadline and everything's ruined. And so he was having them rush to try and get everything done. And he said, oh, don't worry about it. I actually did it. You guys fell asleep. I said to say, in part 1, it was very intentional that Naruto never used more than 3 or 4 shadow clones. And it's because the guy does not like drawing them. But at least with Mamushi, we've seen that he's been doing 7. So I'm kind of hoping that we see at least 7 at a time. We even saw that with Mitsuki when Mitsuki used clones. And even with some of the claw grinds, he was using more in one panel. I really hope we see an expansion of shadow clones. That's one element I do miss from Naruto. So going over onto YouTube, we're going to run through some of the YouTube comments. So let's see what you guys had to say on YouTube. Regular dude. See, I can pronounce this. I like this. Some of you have names, so I'd be like, what the fuck is that? So starts, and that's like the foot and mouth syndrome. I don't mean it like that. Like, you know what I mean? I mispronounce names. But we don't give a fuck about that over here because like I mispronounce character names all the time. Regular dude says, starts with a flashback to the conversation with Momoshiki, and we learn a little more of how the whole body deal works. Got that right. Kawaki and Sada and Himawari make their way to the battlefield. So you were 1 for 3 there. While Inojin and Koji and Shikamaru start to lay out the plan for the fight ahead. Close. I think Shikadai would show us high IQ instantly by understanding how Inojin's jutsu works and something to that effect. We did see IQ because that strategy was pretty clutch. Chapter will end with combatants arriving on the battlefield. This wasn't a bad prognostication here. That could have been something that happened in a chapter. That's not bad. Bubba DHK says they better do this manga justice when they animate it. If they flop this, I swear. That's a whole video in of itself. Like, I don't want any of them random ass episodes. If I have to sit through another Mitsuki Cat episode, or we get an episode, and sorry, Tommy Bunny Bread, like we go back and forth about this in the Discord server. If I gotta sit there and watch an episode of Kawaki looking at a photo book album and it's a flashback to something of Boruto's childhood, and Kawaki having to remember or try to pretend to remember events that happen, I'm gonna go crazy. This is not the 90s, it's not the 2000s or early 2010s. Just stick to the manga material, expand here or there where you need to expand, but stick to the manga material. I'm okay if you do with the story what My Hero did, what Black Clover is going to do when it comes back, what My Dress Up Darling does, what Chainsaw Man does, what Demon Slayer did, what was it? There's one more I can't think of. Dawn to Dawn. They just stick to the manga, even with Demon Slayer. Like, people are saying that the Hashira training arc is filler. No, that was just a slow ass arc in the anime. All they did, or in the manga, all they did in the anime is they added some extra scenes and extra dialogue and etc. to pad out episodes. I am fine if you do that. Demon Slayer's early stuff for the Mugen Train arc, some of those episodes that you got weren't in the manga. I am fine with that because it directly builds on what's there. Just keep it short and sweet. I'm going to be right there with you. If we got to go through, when the anime comes back and we got to go through a lot of that nonsense, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed. Like, for the part 1 anime, it being its own continuity is why I gave it a lot of wiggle room and etc. Oh, I'm about to be a lot more brutal. I'm about to be a lot more brutal if they come back and they pull that same nonsense where the anime is its own continuity and the manga is its own continuity. Nah, fuck that. I don't know. I'm just warning you now. Mr. Pretty Boy Jung says, that's an interesting name there. Mr. Pretty Boy Jung. All right. A new major death is approaching because remember when starting Boruto, they said over time it's supposed to get darker. Yeah, Kishimoto said that part 1 was going to be lighter, and then as you got closer to part 2 and then part 2 and etc., that things get darker. Paraphrasing what he said, but yeah, that was in a 2016, December 2016 article for Jump Festa 2017 that ran in Weekly Shonen Jump, and I think the January issue. So I'm a walking fucking Naruto encyclopedia. You can look that shit up. Just Kishimoto 2017 Jump Festa interview. It'll be like timestamp 2016, December 2016. It might say, if you get the whole magazine, sometime January 2017. It might be February. I think they waited to publish that. But anyway, let's see. We have yet to see as many deaths happen. So I don't think you necessarily need deaths for the story to get dark. I wouldn't be mad if, they kill some people off, but you don't necessarily need deaths for a story to get dark. Let's see. Tanja Lindeo. If I said your name wrong, I apologize. I think Code will return at the end of the chapter. It's a little too early for that. I wouldn't be mad though. Mamushi is going to have a more difficult time than we thought. Other original Naruto characters might make a cameo simply because of the amount of Mamushis we see. I don't know, because they're not openly hostile towards Konoha. They're really engaging where needed. If you look in the chapter, one of the things that we see is that when they don't see Ada, they just move on. The only time they've really gotten into battles when they've been provoked. So I don't think so. I really don't think so. Would be a great opportunity to get more characters involved. I don't know. You might see somebody like Kiba, since he's part of police force, engage with Boruto. I personally don't. I've done a video talking about why we're not seeing the Naruto OG cast step into some of these situations. I would recommend watching that video. I also have high hopes that we see Boruto use shadow clone techniques again because of that. I don't know, given that Boruto's using Momoshiki's chakra, I don't know if we see him use shadow clones, but that'd be interesting though. Let's see, Last Day's Learning 7558 says, hear me out, the way Mamushi looked at Ada with her Senrigan, I'm almost certain that he can do that and drop a claw mark in her vicinity and spawn in a location, especially with the bug reference. Yeah, because of the tech pun, because Ada is a pun on Ada computer programming. Ada Lovelace, the first computer programming. Bug is a bug in computer programming. So yeah, I see what you're doing there. I wouldn't be mad at that. Slim Gucci, boom, boom, boom. Slim Gucci 4070 says we get Daemon versus Mamushi. I'm gonna say it again. I need him to do it, but slap the juice box out his mouth, eat his ammo crackers, snatch the Elmo Velcro sneakers off his feet, throw him over a light pole, and whoop his ass. Jean Grey 2788 says, I need to finally start Boruto. 10 out of 10 recommend the manga. If you've already seen the Boruto movie, I would just recommend starting, I think, at chapter 9 or 10. That's where Boruto gets coma. Just start from there, and I enjoy it. The Boruto manga, if you understand Naruto, the manga is a direct sequel to Naruto's manga. There's a lot. And if you disagree, that 2.5 hour Boruto Part 1 mega breakdown video links all this stuff that you probably missed if you came to that conclusion, because it's a direct sequel to Naruto. Momoshiki 2 Blue Vortex. I see what you did there. Daddy Momoshiki is coming. I would give you a heart, but I'm not giving a heart to anybody that is saying daddy and it's a male. That is 10 out of 10 sus there. Somebody's like, Naruto explained, gave a heart, and it was daddy. Naruto explained secretly gay. No, I like women. I like, wait a minute, I'm 100% straight on that. Eli JW8MX says, Sai figures out Shikamaru is aiding Boruto, possibly tailing Mitsuki when he makes an escape out of the interrogation room. Interesting. So you think that would be interesting? That would be interesting. Sai doing his own, that's a video. That's worthy of that. That'll be interesting. You got me thinking now. Let's see. BCTI1 at well, okay. Bob. Every other volumes we see starts with a flat. You good prognosticators, so one with Momoshiki is expected. Or we might get one of Daemon and Ada before they get sealed, since the death flags are waving at her aggressively. That would have been good too. But yeah, it was definitely Momoshiki. Kawaki enters the fray, but will inadvertently overheat. That would be so funny if Kawaki had performance issues. That'd be so funny. There's a dirty joke there waiting to be told. I'm not going to tell it though. Try and keep this one from getting age restricted. Mitsuki will use the chaos to flee from interrogation, and Kobu heads to the Kage mansion to watch how Shikamaru handles the crisis. Well, he's going to see that up front because it looks like Shikamaru is about to get interrogated. This change of events will get trickier for him to lead, so he isn't in position to give up the frog, projecting Inoji's jutsu. Ooh, given what happened in this chapter, that's interesting. Due to Inoji making rash decisions in favor of saving Himawari, which makes him put no attention on Ada, where Mamushi will strike and be confronted by Daemon. The only thing I don't know is what happens to Boruto, but I don't expect anything good because everything's been working in our favor so far. Yeah, I mean, there's a twist coming. Kashin Koji, and even the narrator points out that Kashin Koji had a serious look on his face. So something's happening. I agree with you there. Let's see. It's Havoc says, I think we about to see Boruto. Why did I see BTA thinking Grand Theft Auto 6 on Mamushi? Although I feel like someone is going to sell and we're going to see Mitsuki get interrogated, followed by Sai leading his clues to his son, probably end with Ada getting pressed. I wouldn't be mad if some of those developments happen in the future. I would not. So far, you guys have had some good predictions. Like, some of you guys have hit on the head parts of what happened in the chapter. This was good. Let's see. Rebang 4703 says, haven't really read a few chapters, the chapters in a few months, but all for videos, I think we're going to see Kawaki rise to the top of the power scaling again. Well, to Jura, second to Jura, of course. I think he'll help Boruto with Mamushi, and then he's going to snap on everyone. So, yeah, like what I would recommend, a buddy of mine, Six Paths, does this. We talk on Discord. What he does is he lets chapters build up, and he just goes back and he does a reread. Or not a reread, but like a binge read. And like I did it with Attack on Titan. And same with My Dress Up Darling. I will let chapters build up, and it's the same thing with a couple other monthly manga that I read. If like with some of the pacing, I go, Jesus Christ, I'm not waiting for this. I'll let a volume or a couple volumes build up, and then I'll just sit down and binge read from the last thing that I remember. I would recommend that. Like he did that for the entire Tsunagakure arc, which was that Sand Village arc. He didn't have any problems with it, because he sat down and read them back to back how you're supposed to read. When you're reading a manga, every single release, whether it be weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or quarterly, it's important to remember you're only getting part of the story. The entire story is meant to be read a volume at a time. So I would recommend that. And you know, like in 2026, I'm going to try and do a better job of making certain off of the discussion videos that the discussions. Like I still see people saying, oh my God, you know, you do theories. I don't do theories. I do fucking discussions. Like the video that just came up, like I gave a discussion on why I think that Momoshiki should be written to have an ulterior motive, and why that whole situation with Boruto where he's telling him, I know that you're a problem with Kawaki, why it's a big deal. That's just a discussion. It's not a theory. I'm not making predictions. So I'm going to do a better job in 2026 of making that clear, because I know there's a disconnect there. So I'm gonna work to try on that. Trying to find that healthy balance of what my guys over Anime Balls Deep were saying. You know, they're like, just go super clickbait, and like I don't feel comfortable going clickbait for the titles. But then my partner manager is also saying go with the clickbaity and headline style titles and don't go super straightforward. And you know, I'm struggling with it. You know, you guys have seen it, and probably like the last 2-3 years I've switched up the titles. And so I'm trying. I just don't feel comfortable. I laugh every time I type out the titles, and it's one of those uncomfortable laughs, you know. So it's, hey, YouTube's changing, I guess. Double Void says, I'm gonna do these next 3, then we're gonna call this one a day. Double Void says Shikadai. Oh, he was in the chapter. Let's see. J Stu 1158 says, we smoke on that Ada pack soon because the writing is literally on the wall. I will fly all the way to Japan. I will track down Ikimoto and I will demand a meeting. We better not have that Ada pack. I ain't ready for that one. Let's see. Kablamo 20 says, code making a them code stocks will be coming up. I'm standing by that. Them code stocks, they on the rise, baby. So that's gonna be it for the chapter 29 predictions. Again, if you're seeing this on the 18th, then I'm waiting for the review editor to finish up. So I thank you in advance for your patience and for your support. I like that we did this one in advance so you guys can get in before the sneak peek, because I feel like some of these were more genuine and the predictions were so much more fun to read, because you can tell a lot of you guys went in blind. Like sometimes what's happened with the sneak peeks is like I'll drop the not Patreon, but the community post, then people will talk about it right after the leaks. So this was good. I like this, man. I like this a lot.